Good morning. Today is February 13th, and you're listening to the greatest love story taken from Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 3, where God said, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. First, I want to thank Randall and Deborah for announcing that we will be back today with all new programming, and something I've really been looking forward to, and something I've missed because of some health issues that have been going on. But I was so determined to fight through those things and be with you today. And so I do want to thank them so much for their kindness. And Randall and Deborah are so professional, so loving, and caring. And I do want to thank them so much for the announcements and everything that they've been doing on our behalf. And then also, I would like to mention that we have some new listeners today, and that would include Shannon, Andrea, Sandra, Janie, Corrine, and then also Darshawn. And I hope that we'll also be gaining other new listeners. And please be inviting others to join with us each and every Sunday. And then I would also like to give you an update about throat cancer treatments. And that is that now I am 4 weeks behind of having this behind me, and then just three more weeks to go. So 4 weeks down, 3 weeks to go. And I'm looking forward to getting this chapter put behind me. And even though the devil may think that he has me by the throat, guess what? Jesus has taken my hand into his healing hand. And so I look forward to overcoming this cancerous in my throat and everything, and continuing our program for many years to come. We've been studying about John the Baptist, and you recall how that the first time we talked about John, as he was yet to be born, he was still being carried in his mother's womb. And when Mary entered the house of Elizabeth and spoke to her, John the Baptist, still in his mother's womb, leapt for joy. And then, as later on, as John the Baptist went out into the deserts, and then he began his personal ministry as he came around about the regions of Judea where he was born and raised. Now, what was John the Baptist doing in the deserts? And the answer is rather obvious, is that he was studying the Old Testament, particularly things that dealt with prophecies. And when John the Baptist came forward preaching, he was preaching from the Old Testament. And so we gather from that what he was doing, preparing himself to make straight the paths of Jesus Christ. And so we look forward to doing that. And you joined up with John the Baptist around the region of Judea where he was born and raised, and they began baptizing. And then also concerning John the Baptist, he spoke up concerning those that were unbelievers, and he challenged them concerning them that they rise above the hypocrisy that they had for him and for Jesus Christ, to rise above that and to give themselves to Jesus Christ. John the Baptist was a loving man, but he was also a very challenging man. He wanted to challenge them to rise above their hypocrisy and to embrace Jesus Christ. And so then today, following the baptism of Jesus Christ to fulfill all righteousness, we notice particularly in John chapter 3 and verses 22 and verse 23, two verses I think that are very important to illustrate how that Jesus began his personal ministry while John the Baptist continued to lay the groundwork for Jesus Christ. In the 22nd verse, it talks about Jesus entering into Judea along with his disciples, and they tarried there and baptized. And then in verse 23, it indicates that John the Baptist was in a place called Enon because there was much water, and then he also baptized. And then later on, there was a division that arose about how that Jesus and his disciples were baptizing, and they felt that rather odd. And John the Baptist pointed out, he said, that you bear me witness that I said that I am not the Christ, And then he went on to make a very important statement. He must increase, but I must decrease. And so we see how that John the Baptist was one that was not jealous of Jesus, but rather he came as a forerunner to Jesus Christ, and how that he was carrying forth that mission. And then later on in that same chapter, it indicates that the Father loveth the Son and hath given all things into his hands. Now, this tells to me that the Father was giving to Jesus Christ the ability to heal and also to raise the dead and also to forgive sins and so many other things. And then later on, it indicates that he that loveth the Son hath life everlasting, but he that loveth not the Son, then wrath abideth upon him. And so we need to make sure that the favor of Jesus Christ is resting upon our shoulders, because we're giving to Jesus Christ everything within us, that we love the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit with everything within us, and that we love them with all of our heart, with all of our soul, with all of our mind, with all of our strength. And I'm reminded of John, the 14th chapter and verse 6, where Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. And then in John, the 10th chapter and verse 9, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. In Matthew, the 11th chapter and verses 28 through 30, Jesus said, Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And I want you to think about people that you see every day, or those you may speak with on the telephone, that you never know what they've been through in life, what lies beneath those eyes of theirs, the pain, the hardship. And so please give them a smile, a sense of love through your eyes, and that may be their only contact with joy and happiness in their lives, and it can make all the difference. But let us always be attuned to their lives and to try and to build them up, never to find fault nor evil nor judgmental, but rather to always lift up and to build forward. And then one of the things I would like to share as we close are two things, and one of them is that when the angel appeared to Mary, he was talking about Jesus Christ, and how that concerning Jesus, that he was to be the ruler over the kingdom of Israel, the throne of David, and then of that he was to be ruler over the kingdom of Judah, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. And then also in Matthew, the first chapter, in verse 1, it refers to Jesus Christ as the son of David and the son of Abraham. And among the things that we're to learn from this is that not only is Jesus Christ the Prince of Peace, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, but even in a physical sense, that Jesus had the right to the throne of David. But as you and I know, Jesus came to establish a spiritual kingdom. And so we look forward to continuing some things about the subject of baptism, some things about Jesus Christ concerning the kingdom that he came to establish, and so much more. And I would like to leave with you a mystery question, and that is, among the followers of John the Baptist, which of these went on to become apostles of Jesus Christ? And so to ask the question again, which of the two followers of John the Baptist went on to become apostles of Jesus Christ? And so again, I'd like to thank Deborah and Randall for everything that they've done, for their announcements, and also for everything that they do for us. And then also to encourage you to continue listening to their radio program throughout the entire week. You'll find it to be very uplifting. And then also, please be inviting others to join with us. And so until next Sunday, take care and God bless.